There's a strange thing I realized about life, that sometimes the meaning we give things hurts us more than the thing itself. And I learned this accidentally, all because of a glass of milk. Before we go any further, if you're new here, welcome to the Pain Free Podcast, a space where we tell the stories our bodies remember, even when we try to forget. And if you've been listening for a while, I'm genuinely glad you're here. Thank you for growing with me, healing with me, and sitting with these conversations that don't always have easy answers. Hi, my name is Jean-Pierre, and when I was a kid, I hated milk. Not in the normal kids hate healthy things way. Mine was deeper. So whenever I got sick, right, my mom would bring milk, a lot of it. And my tiny little brain didn't care that it was good for my body. All I knew was sickness equals milk, milk equals medicine, medicine means something is wrong with me. Till this day, milk still smells like hospitals and pharmacies to me. It smells like fear, like being helpless. It's funny how the smallest moments in childhood become the heaviest metaphors in adulthood. Growing up with sickle cell meant growing up with pain that didn't wait for an explanation. It didn't knock, it just arrived. And suddenly my childhood was split into two worlds. The days pain let me be a child and the days it didn't. And the days it didn't were a lot. I was young. I was too young to understand what was happening. 1 minute I was laughing and the next, it felt like my bones were on fire from the inside, really. I watched other kids run without thinking. Everything they did freely, everything I did extremely calculated. Pain turns you into a strategist before you even know what that word means, you know? You learn to scan for danger, you learn to predict hurt, you become responsible for things no child should even manage. When you are a child and somehow you have to carry pain too early, you try to make sense of your pain and ultimately of your life experience. As the pain episodes continued, I learned certain things without anyone teaching me. I learned to always find a way to just deal with it. As a child, I didn't really understand the science behind sickle cell. I only understood one thing, and that was to make sure I survived by any means necessary. One thing that I learned to do in order to cope with everything happening was to utilize the inherent human desire to always have an explanation, to always have a reason that logically makes sense as to why something is happening or why something happened. So I would assign meaning to every little thing that happened to me. With the strict rules around me, dieting, and the well-calculated nature of my life, I had to find a way to make it all make sense to me because it was very clear that my peers were totally having a different life experience. What made it worse was that even with the systems and structures in place, I could only be so well calculated so much. I could only strictly follow my diet plan so much. Could only wear warm clothing so much. I could do everything required of me, tick every box, but still get extremely sick. And it always used to come down to one thing. There has to be a logical reason as to why things kept happening to me. Either I wasn't praying enough, wasn't sleeping enough, wasn't eating enough, wasn't doing this or that enough. By the way, if this conversation is speaking to you, don't forget to follow or subscribe so you don't miss the next time we sit together like this. These episodes are curated in a way that build on each other, and I definitely want you here for all of it. Now, I discovered that the human brain hates randomness. The human brain is a pattern detection machine. For example, our ancestors centuries ago would notice patterns, tracks in the mud, a rustle in the bushes. They had this survival skill. So we inherited a bias. When something happens, especially something unpleasant, the brain instinctively tries to connect it to a cause, a reason, or a message, saying, this happened because of that, which honestly feels safer than saying things are chaotic or life is unpredictable. Most times, negative events trigger even stronger meaning making. Bad events grab more attention and feel more significant than good ones because negative events create discomfort, uncertainty, or fear. They interrupt our expectations. They challenge our identity or sense of control. Our brains are built to prioritize danger. A threat is more important to survival than a reward. Our brains try even harder to interpret them. The brain wants to transform pain into coherence. Have you ever noticed how positive events are easier to externalize? When good things happen to us, we naturally make no big deal of them. We quickly attribute it to either luck or a blessing, and we are more inclined to take on some form of false humility in order to downplay this positive event. But negative events tend to trigger intense emotions and thoughts like, I really messed up this time. I should have known better. How come this always happens to me? When something painful happens, the brain quickly wonders, did I cause this? What does this say about me? How do I quickly prevent this again? And so on and so forth. The goal most times is self-protection, but the side effect is personalizing the event. Pain makes us introspective. Pleasure makes us relaxed and less analytic. When you feel like you know why something happened, you develop this illusion of some form of control. When people experience something painful or unexpected, attaching meaning makes it feel manageable. And even our cultural, social, and religious conditioning reinforce this. We say things like, everything happens for a reason, God is trying to teach me a lesson, this is for character development, or we attribute it to karma sometimes. These ideas can comfort us, but they also prime us to search for hidden meaning, even where none exists. We are storytelling creatures after all. We don't experience life as disconnected events. We experience it as a story in which we are most likely the main character. And this story requires causes, intentions, lessons, villains, and arcs. We're the main character of our inner narrative. So when events disrupt our emotional equilibrium, we instinctively interpret them as part of our story, even when they arise from external factors. When a random or painful event disrupts the story, we scramble to explain it so the narrative stays intact. Now, attaching meanings to things can be empowering or self-punishing, depending on the narrative. And ultimately, the goal isn't to eliminate attaching meaning to these events. It's to redirect it into healthier channels, to develop awareness, to be able to instantly notice when we start giving meaning to things. Sometimes things just happen without deeper personal significance. There really isn't a meaning to seeing a black cat cross your path. No, it's not your village people. Your village people are not onto you. They have enough problems of their own. Looking at it now, it's quite ridiculous as to how much meaning we have attached to things, especially the mere sightings of animals like birds, owls. And no, an itchy palm doesn't mean money is coming. Neither does your dog barking at night mean it has seen a spirit and is trying to warn you. Your eye twitching or your ear burning? Come on, stop it. That's just normal muscle activity. It's quite healthy to embrace and normalize randomness on the other side, to embrace non-judgment, to see things as they are or as they occur without necessarily needing to know why. Sometimes we have to embrace randomness in order to counter the brain's tendency to infer cause where none exists. Much harmful meaning making is an attempt to eliminate uncertainty. It's a thing of control. Not every event has inherent meaning. Life has no meaning sometimes. It's not that deep sometimes. But every event can be used to create meaningful action. You don't have to silence the meaning-seeking instinct that you have. You just have to learn to lead it. And if this episode made you think or breathe a little deeper, or even question one belief you've carried for too long, I hope you can stay connected. Follow the podcast, share this with someone who needs it, and let them know you are thinking about them. And let me know in the comments some of your funny meanings that you have attached to things. Tell me what part stayed with you. Your voice really shapes this space more than you know. And so until next time, take care of the meaning you give things. Love always and forever. Jean-Pierre.